And we're live with another episode of Collaborate and Pull Together. On this week's
Yeah.
episode, we have a special guest, Adam DeFrank of Grip Armsport,
And
the CEO of the company, and joining us in a little bit will be Steve Fernandez of New York Tri-State Arm Wrestling. Welcome, Adam. I
yeah, no,
appreciate you coming on board.
thanks for having us. Thanks for having me on.
Well, so I mean, while we wait for my partner, who's always fashionably a little late,
Uh,
it's all good though. No worries about him because he's my reluctant co-host, even though he's declined the actual official title of co-host.
yeah, it's like the
um,
translation in an Artem podcast.
yep, yeah, pretty much. um, so I don't know if our viewers know who you are. I don't know. I know the Grip Arm Sport name. We'll get to that in a little bit, but let's find out a little bit more about you. How did you find arm wrestling?
Yeah, so I mean, I think like everyone else, right? Growing up, we've always arm wrestled, and I do fencing. So a lot of the guys that a lot of younger guys are always going to want to try to test you, challenge you. We do different push ups or whatever on the job sites, and one time we're like, hey, let's arm wrestle. And there was this, we had this one guy, Nico. He was about 6'4", played college football, and we were arm wrestling. And the guys were recording it, and I beat him and sent it to my buddy. And my buddy's like, I was actually really good in high school. So then we started, pulling each other, and then just started watching videos, got into it, and was like, man, we never knew that people actually like really did this with like clubs. So then we went on Facebook, looked around for the closest club near us, whoever was hosting practices. Eric Crespo in Detroit, he had the Detroit Armbenders. Reached out to him, went to a practice, and then the rest is history.
Gotcha. Okay, so you've been at it for some time now, right?
Yeah, just a little over about 2.5 years.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. Now, in your journeys in the sport, who have you been introduced to that's been like your biggest inspiration? Like,
Yeah, biggest inspiration. Honestly, it's weird. There's a local aspect, and then then like what we would say on the next level, right? Like the superstars. But locally, I think a guy that's been like a big mentor, just like someone to emulate is Dan Blanchard. Right? He's
okay,
yeah, he's come alongside of us. He's helped us out, and yeah, great guy.
yeah, I haven't met the man personally, but I know the name fairly well. He's a pretty prolific puller from out there in that region.
Yeah, his left hand
Strong
is
guy,
yeah.
no joke, right?
No, for sure. Yeah, he was. I don't know where he's at right now. I don't know if he's number two, but left-handed. He had the number one spot all in the overalls in Michigan, and he walks around at like I think somewhere around 170. So that just tells you, yeah, that just tells you where he's at.
That's somebody who I need to come after because that's my class right there. I'm
Yeah,
a 176 guy, so
yeah,
definitely a name I want to chase after. I've only been at this for a little over 4 years, and I love the sport, man, and gripping up with anybody and anyone that I possibly can it makes it that much more fun.
no, for sure.
Um, so you said you were in fencing before. I actually have a teammate that's in fencing, and this guy's got a wicked strong wrist. Um, what do you think that helped your wrist out, your wrist strength, your overall side pressure? What's your style?
Yeah, so definitely I think with the side pressure for my size, my side pressure is probably one of my best. And not so much a cupping, but my rise is one of my best. And I think it just depends on, a lot of hand digging, a lot of squeezing and pulling the fences in, you're carrying cement. It's one of those things that you're always gripping and moving something and then throwing the spud bar, there's a when we break up concrete, that's one thing I've always been good at is throwing it sideways. So that building up your internal elbow, I think, has been just over years. But
So do you have a little chop going on in your style?
not a chop. I'm more outside. I try
Okay.
to hit outside and then I'll I'll go sideways.
Gotcha. As time develops, man, I gotta tell you, the guy who I train with, he's very similar. He's
Yeah,
outside, but he definitely applies a lot of side pressure because he's always holding
the pushing down.
things
Yeah,
together. So, you
yeah.
know,
My right hand, I pull different from my right and left, just from injuries. Younger. My cupping is limited on my right just because of the due to the injury. So if I
okay,
go in too much, I'll have pain on the top of my hand. So that's why I run outside with my right, and then on my left, I'm more of an inside puller,
gotcha.
but more of
Okay.
a hook drag.
Any favorite matches that you've participated in over the last 2.5 years?
Um, so I've mainly done tournaments. I tried to take a crack at the. I had a super match with Pierce Reisinger maybe like 2-3 months ago. Uh,
Okay.
did not win that one. He's a pretty strong dude. He's number 7 in Michigan at 176. But yeah, really just tournaments. Just
Okay.
trying to get into it and crack the top 10 is the goal.
There you go, man. That's always a good goal to have. Uh, I'm chasing those numbers as much as you are, so I can
Yeah.
appreciate that. Definitely can appreciate that. Um, Now, how does the arm wrestling community influence your overall life journey?
Yeah, honestly, I think that just I don't know about you, but I'm 38.
Same.
Yeah. So it just I think it just keeps me motivated, right? Where before it's just kind of like you'd work out, you try to stay fit. You don't really have like a goal that you're doing it for. But I think that finding arm wrestling, there's the camaraderie with everybody. Go to practices every week. You're pulling now. There's a goal to get stronger, and the one thing I love about the sport is that the longevity of it that you can pull into your 50s and 60s and still be very very competitive.
Without a doubt, man. And that's one of my favorite things about it, the health and fitness of the sport. I
Yeah.
came into it at 270. I was 270 pounds
Wow.
when I first started. And, the weight classes gave me actual weight loss goals.
Yeah.
And it really helped me tremendously. Kept me accountable, kept me something to, answer to. If I wasn't, being my healthiest version, I'm not going to make
Yep.
that weight.
Yeah.
And now I live a very healthy lifestyle in comparison to what I did several years ago, and I'm loving life. It gives you a little something more to look forward to. Competitions, the tournaments. Steve can attest this. As brought Steve Fernandez back onto the screen. Welcome back, brother.
Hey man, what's going
He
on?
can attest
What are we
to
doing?
the energy that I put into preparation for tournaments.
Oh
Yeah.
no,
So
definitely I could say that 110%. I just want to say to my man here, the Grip Armsports, for helping us out, Montana, for being such a good sponsor for us and helping us out. So I just want to say thank you so much, man.
Yeah. No, appreciate it. Yeah. No, that's thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. But yeah, I could definitely say that, man. Definitely in great shape. Dan, you've been getting even better. So I just, especially with this new equipment that you have at this new place that you guys are training at, I can't see anything else but from you getting better. So, and I can see that's where you kind of lacked too, was not that you didn't have strength. You always had strength, but your hand was always stronger than your arm. So it was obvious to where you needed to work on and like everyone else does, you know what I mean? But to have that to be able to do that with the people that you do it with is like a blessing. So honestly, yeah, man, more power to you.
I'm looking forward to all the things to come from it. I know we just got it a couple of weeks ago. We got a couple of pieces of equipment from Mithril Armsport, arm wrestling equipment out of Kazakhstan. I'll throw their link up if anybody's wants to check their website and social media out. Uh-uh. Give me 1 second. Let me find. There we go. Right over here is Mithril. Check them out. They have equipment that's going to change the game entirely. It's top quality, built to last. They were actually a co-sponsor with you, I believe, Adam, over at I think one of the King of the Table or East vs West events. And the guy who runs the show over there is really nice. He's very friendly. He's eager to work with you guys. If you have somebody who has an idea that may perfect or be a more efficient way to train, he will entertain it and try to put it into actual reality. He's definitely, I'm working with him on a couple of different ideas that I have. So stay tuned for that regard. But the gym that we have, if you're tuned into the show on Thursdays and Sundays, you'll see the equipment that we have. It is top quality. We have a side pressure machine, cupping machine, pulleys, tables, probably about every handle you could ever dream to have, a wrist trainer, and all that's located inside of a strongman gym that has other equipment as well in it. But speaking of which, just want to shout out, we got Dan Centrella in the chat, who's my partner in crime and making that happen. He opened up his relationship with his buddy over at Clean Cut Fitness, who's hosting our practices. And it's going to be a place of a venue that we're going to have future events. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But if you want to check out Clean Cut Fitness, it's good. It's the Northeast, one of the Northeast very first and only dedicated spaces to arm wrestling training. Definitely eager to have each and every person join us and check it out. But with that being said, let's get back to the man on the screen, Adam, man. So your journey in life in general has been transcended because of sport of arm wrestling. Now let's go into dive into Grip Armsport. How did that come into fruition? Because I knew the gentleman who started it, and I know as life happens, life in life's terms occurs, and I loved his brand. And when I saw that you were taking over, I was like, whoa, this guy seems like he's got a lot of good energy towards this. Let's see what's going on, and let's hear about your takeover of it the last year, what you accomplished, and how it influenced your entire journey.
Yeah, no, Zach Perkins owned Grip Armsport before. Great guy. Got to meet him a couple times. Pulling some of the same tournaments, and then he made a post that he was selling some of the tables, and I reached out to him and said, "Hey, look, definitely interested in purchasing some." So we set up a time, went down there, we're just talking, and then he had a trailer for sale, and it was the Grip Armsport trailer, and he knew I did construction, so he asked if I could use it. I said, I don't know if I'll, we don't really use enclosed trailers for fencing, but I asked him, what about the company? And he goes, I'm kind of hanging it up. I'm going, he took a different career path. And so I was like, well, would you want to sell the company? And he's like, I never thought about that. And so we talked and put something together that was beneficial for both of us. And yeah, then the rest is history.
So last year, I saw that you were a part of big time, a part of King of the Table, East vs. West, Michigan State, East Ohio Arm Wrestling. You're literally dabbling in a little bit of everything. So I know that there was like an issue, stupid freaking hackers or something like that messed things up with some of the websites down last year, but it's good to see you recovering from that because you're back up and running, right?
Yep. We've had we kind of revamped everything. We got a new website. Like I said, our goal has been to not only on the East vs. West or King of the Table wanting to sponsor to help the sport, but also getting to where everything starts, right, at the local level. Really try to grow the sport individually because that's just gonna the fans are the base of arm wrestling. They're what holds the East vs. West and the King of the Table up, right? Tournaments, the guys, and arm wrestling fans are dedicated and they're great fans. They'll travel halfway across the country, So yeah, so we definitely wanted to. Our goal for Grip is to be that brand for the fans, for the pullers, and kind of transcend just more of a niche thing, but things that you guys, think everyone could wear to the gym, you wear to family events, kind of be like the Under Armour for arm wrestling and strength sports.
That's freaking awesome. I love that. Now, I know we're talking a lot about arm wrestling, and you just mentioned other strength sports. Is there any promise of you getting involved in those grip competitions? I know like Lucas Raymond and Eric Roussine up in Canada, they participate in other grip sports as well as arm wrestling.
Yeah, yeah. No, so there is. We have a a format of kind of how we want to go. Arm wrestling is going to be the one thing I think, 2024. That's what we want to do. Want to get our brand out there, let people know that we're here. So when we're in Jersey, we were able to talk to Brian Shaw. He invited us out to the Shaw Expo that he has going on, this year. So we'll probably be there. So our powerlifting type thing, we want to get into, kind of that niche, and then we're going to push into the rock climbing, and everything else, right? Everything else grip, as far as rock climbing and the grip strength athletes as well.
Are you going to be in Ohio by any chance for the Arnolds?
We were definitely considering it. We were either kicking around to get a booth or just to be down there with our presence. But yeah, that's the goal.
I was going to say having a booth there, I'm saying you guys would sell out. There was going to be such a big crowd over there. It's just
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
I was there at the not last year, but the previous year, man, and the energy there was unreal. It's where I met the resistance and rotation guys. It's where I met a lot of other arm wrestlers, connected with people from all across the nation. Dude, it was an amazing experience. Um, I would definitely suggest that being if you can notch that in the belt, definitely get yourself there.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm excited too because I've never been. All right, it's not too far from where I live. I'm Southeast Michigan. It's in Columbus, so definitely want to get out there and check it out. Especially, I was bummed when I heard that it was canceled, and then really really pumped when I heard that it was back up and running.
A big shout out to the guys at High Five and Knuckles Up. They got a big event coming up. I will go ahead and show them some love on the screen real quick. Um, they really are taking the bull by the horns in a similar fashion. Starting off with their Knuckles Up event, and then Arnold qualifiers, and then the Arnolds, which is a feeder to the Knuckles Up events, which I think is an amazing idea. It definitely gives everyone a progression, a way of progression into the sport, another way. And I think that there's room for it all. There's room for us all to grow and help each other out synergistically, and be shoulder to shoulder with each other. So check out the High Five guys. That takes you to their event links, as well as any of their other websites.
Yeah, they're gonna have a great show January 25th, I think it is.
Yep.
That's going to be ridiculous. I think I'm not sure exactly how many matches they have. I want to say they have 12 or 13 matches or something like that. So
I don't know the exact number.
Nick Stone's going to be up pulling right hand up against a huge puller. Nadia is also pulling two that night. So there's going to be a lot of good pullers there that night.
Just want to take a moment. The guys in the chat. Again, shouting out Dan Centrella, my partner. We got Weak Wrist Arm Wrestling, Andrew Rivers there. We got the Drew 24. What's up, man? We got Jesus Gonzalez and the Lucky Ones. Thank you guys for tuning in and sharing around the show.
Everybody, thanks for being on.
Another shout out. The streaming today is brought to you by a camera that I had just recently got from Red Lightning Streaming. Robert Kelly hooked it up, gave me a good quality camera. I had got a couple of gift cards for Christmas, and I was talking to him about cameras, and he's like, I actually got one that would be perfect for you. So I hope you guys are enjoying the show. On my end, you'll be seeing practices and future streams from me with this really awesome camera, because I can do a lot of different things with zooming in. We got 3 different lenses, so big shout out to you, man. So let's talk goals, Adam. What goals do you have with the rest of 2025? I know we just started. We kicked off the year. What's your major plan? Any big things coming down the pipeline?
Yeah, I think we're gonna keep with as much as we can. Keep sponsoring some of the bigger events, local events as well. Try to get back to some of the guys are doing some really good stuff. On the local level for sponsorships. As far as promotions. So I think we're gonna push hard into advertisement this year. We're gonna launch a new line. We have actually chalk coming out, which will be it'll be our own chalk. So we're manufacturing that. There's be more that's coming out that probably another month or so, and then we're actually revamping our straps. There's a lot to like about our straps, but then there was other stuff that we were having some slippage once they were tightened down, and then kind of when you get your grip, they were kind of popping off a little bit.
Hmm.
So yeah, we were actually going to use them at King of the Table, but after you wear them in a little bit, they kind of break in. But I think it's just the webbing needs to get loosened up. But so we're going to be revamping those. We'll be releasing those in an inch and a half. Really stick with that. We've thought about trying to get into some other stuff, but we don't want to dilute the market with some of the handles and other stuff like that. So we might be partnering with the company. Don't want to say it until it's done, but yeah, we might be partnering with the company just as far as working out a deal to be able to launch their products on our website.
Nice. Hopefully everything goes through.
Yeah, that's hopefully the goal. We've thought about getting into it, but we'd rather stay and do what we do, right? Rather be apparel and then definitely chalk and straps and then stick there and let the other companies, in the sport grow as well. And
Well, I was actually meaning to ask you about the apparel side of things. I see that a couple of them are branded to specific pullers, which I love that idea, man.
yeah,
It really gives
there's
like an investment into pullers. Talk about
yeah.
what created that.
Yeah, so just so Zach had that with Kevin, Kevin Pelko, and we're still doing that with Kevin. But it just gave me an idea, like right, the Grip Classic is what like the kind of like what you have right now is considered the Grip Classic, but they come in solid colors and are short keys. So I was like, a good way of what we can do since everyone likes that look, but that we can have something for pullers on the back, right? So it kind of be your own little brand, your own little niche. Um, so yeah, so then we had one for Todd. Kind of wanted to do something with him, and he's a great guy. And we talked. And he's like, yeah, run with it. So we did, and hopefully it grows, and hopefully you start to get the athletes, you know, kind of feeling more like athletes, and be able to get more money coming to people, and I think it would be a great thing.
It definitely is a
Consider
great.
that.
Yeah, it definitely is a great
Excellent
one.
idea.
Yeah. When I seen Kevin wearing that, I think it was in Florida. He was all filled up with grip. It
Yeah,
was. It looked good. I mean, he looked like an athlete. I mean, wearing
yeah,
that. So it just. But yeah, it looks good. All your gear looks good, man. Honestly, all of it
I
looks really.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Very clean. That's one of the things I like about it. It's just it's crisp, it's clean, it's to the point. Um, I do have to ask: are you gonna get to become obsessed back out there? Because I didn't see that on there.
Yeah, no, we definitely that's one that we like, right? And that's another thing too is listening to feedback and then see what everybody wants and then pulling some things back and seeing what works. There's always that fine line with sitting on too much inventory. But no,
Yeah.
definitely we like to become obsessed. We're changing the fabric, which we've already started to do on some of the newer lines. The quality is just gonna be. It was great quality. It's just gonna be bumped up just a little bit more with the material. So, yeah, we're gonna get into tank tops. One thing that we're definitely hearing from people is that they want, uh, women. They're like, look, if you can get a women's line for tank tops and kind of hit that market a little bit more too, because as the sport's growing, women are coming to the sport. They're starting to pull as well.
Yeah.
That's so
Absolutely.
true. That's definitely true. I like the idea of partnerships. I like the idea of creating more clothing lines and more options and more availability. I mean, that's where that's a good problem to have in growth is to being creative, how to keep up with it, right?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, one thing that's going to help us is we just purchased. I was mentioning before we jumped live. We just purchased a building in Monroe, which is just about 15 miles north of the Ohio border. So, and the building was a little bit bigger than what we needed, but for the fencing company, so it allows us to run grip out of here as well. There's a plenty enough room.
So, will you be running events out of there, or is it just gonna be like a warehouse for you?
So we run practices out of here now, but people have been asking, hey, why don't you do something? Why don't why don't you put a tournament on? And it's something we've kicked around, but
How big is the spot?
5,000 square feet building,
Oh man.
2,000 square foot pole barn in the back, and then we have about a little over acre.
And where are you at in Michigan? You said.
Yep, southeast. Just so I live right outside Metro Detroit, about 10 minutes. But this spot right here is about 25 minutes south of where I live.
Okay.
I
And
definitely think that conversations need to be had.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know. That's what it's a good spot, for like I said. So since we've been down here, we get a lot more Ohio guys that from the Toledo area, coming up, Bowling Green, that kind of come up and practice with us too. So it's been good.
Nice. You have a team, or you just have a lot of guys that practice together?
Yeah, so I was telling Dan, when I got in, Eric Crespo, he was a puller. He had Detroit Armbenders. That was his thing, and when we pulled, we kind of flew that banner. But then he stopped pulling for a little bit. So I don't know. We don't really have a banner right now.
Yeah. I'm saying you guys practice. How many guys do you usually have, like a stream, like from 154 to 243?
Um, we are lacking some some heavyweights. We have like Brian Vollmer from Ohio. He's one of their top guys at I think 242 plus. Sometimes Steve Perez comes. We've had the Viking here. So when we get people, we try to create buzz with it and then get some bigger guys. But for the most part, our it hits from the 150, the 54s up to your 240s, 220s more. But you'll get like a guy or two, that's a little bit heavier.
Nice.
It's in a centralized location between the rest of Michigan and the rest of Ohio that I'm sure getting the bigger guns is fairly easy if you have something worthwhile going to.
Yeah,
So,
especially that, and that's the thing. Yeah, if you get a couple people that are interested, that some guys are coming, other guys will travel for it.
well, definitely, it's in an optimal location and the travel's not that far.
It
Yeah,
wouldn't be a bad
Speaking,
idea. What I was thinking is maybe obviously doing something with Grip Armsport with the actual shirts and the jerseys, wearing them, obviously having our city slickers go up to Michigan and going up
yeah.
against you guys. That wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah, yeah. So Jerry Bell's doing something like that right now. He has a tournament that he's doing. I'd have to find the date, but I think it's in February. But it's a lot of guys from Canada are coming down. Right,
Okay.
he has the Too Strong for You club up in like right outside of Flint,
Mhm.
in Burton, Michigan. So yeah, he's doing some good stuff up there. He's putting on some good tournaments. Another thing that he does, which we like, is he'll do a Wednesday night warrior. So it's a small mini tournament instead of because they have their practices every Wednesday, right? And they're pretty consistent with it. But he'll post a Wednesday night warrior. So then we do our practice on Tuesday. We won't go there, or we won't go to our practices, but we'll go up to his, and we'll you get some ready goes, creates kind of buzz, and those are growing as well.
I was gonna say, what are you guys known for in Michigan? What's like your main, like your staple? What do you guys have over there? Like,
Like we're what like around us,
yeah,
Detroit,
like you have like casinos, or you're known for your waterfalls, or you're known
Greektown.
for
Yeah, no waterfalls, no anything. Our lakes in but Greektown Casino is one of the casinos that are downtown Detroit.
oh, okay.
And this year the Lions hopefully will get the job done.
there you go.
They're looking good this year, and first time ever.
Nice. I never been to Michigan before.
Yeah, it's good. It's fall time. It's really, I mean, it's the changing of the seasons. You go Trevor
About
City
June,
or
about like
more,
May, around that area, like June. What
yeah,
is
more up here, but that's far away. I mean, that's even about a 3.5 4 hour drive for me.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've been to Michigan. I in my previous life, I was a corporate trainer. I did store location openings, and I opened up two of them out. I think on the west side of Michigan.
Yeah, it's nice out there
Um,
too.
yeah, it was definitely pretty out there. But definitely would love to go back there though at some point. So Steve, let's get that ball rolling.
Yeah, I was gonna say it would be nice to go up against the guys in Michigan and stuff and see what you guys have and
Yeah,
bring the city slickers over there. And obviously, whatever it is, you know what I mean, a good price to do the shirts with having grip, you know what I mean, on every single one of the jerseys that we have, buying the purchase, you know, obviously purchasing from you,
Yeah.
and you know, doing a 154 to 243. That'd be sick, man. If you're open to that, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, we can definitely, like I said, there's a lot of good pullers in Michigan, right? We got some guys that I don't think on the national level, but I definitely think could be.
And that's one of the things I love about this sport is not everyone who's capable of being on the top level can actually physically get to an event to show that they're there.
Yeah.
Right. It's one of the things that we keep seeing at these events that, some of these monsters show up. Like you've seen Conrad. He's fairly new to the sport, but he's killing it already.
Yeah.
And you got some newer guys that are coming in, these freaks, if you may. I mean that in the best and most endearing of ways. So please, nobody take offense to that. But I think that having an event like that would definitely, in having the space, to do that. You got some guys from Ohio coming up there. You got some guys from Michigan, from all the surrounding states, and then we got the best of the cream of the crop, who takes on our cream of the crop that are best from our region.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be specifically to Michigan. It could be around, surrounding states that you have around here. Because what we do is it's going to be tri-state arm wrestling, so it's always going to be our tri-state. You know what I mean, and a couple of guys that we can reach out that we don't have. So it's not only. I mean, you don't only have to be in Michigan. Just like we said to Montana when we said those guys, they grabbed the majority of their guys were from Canada. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
or Washington. Yeah.
So, but well, it is what it is, though. Obviously they wanted to grab another couple of guys, which was fine from a different country, which was, and we still won. You know what I mean? Which just doesn't tell you that much. I mean, but it's just traveling somewhere else and going up against a completely different group of guys. You know what I mean? That you would have never pulled before. You know what I mean? And the cream of the crop of that, tri-state area, around there, Michigan. I would just say is just. I love doing that shit. I love even, putting everything together to make sure that, the best guys go up against the best guys.
Yeah.
Before we continue, guys, I just want to shout out a couple other people in the chat. We got Billy Collins in the chat. What's up, Billy? We got Paul Cruz. What's up, Paul?
Paul. David Shubik.
Awesome work,
Dave.
Dave Shubik. Eric Cortez.
What's up,
and
Eric?
Ray Romanowski.
And our ref, our Montana ref, and he's got his super match coming up too.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
So before we go into the next part of the show, I do have a couple more questions for you.
Yes, sir.
What advice would you give to somebody who's just starting out in a sport? Any advice?
Find a good team and pull often. Find a good team, pull often, and then listen, learn from the other guys. And learn technique, right? Learn skills, learn how to pull safe, but pretty much find a club early because, like I said, for the first year I didn't practice. Nobody was practicing around us. I'd go up to Jerry's, but that's about an hour and a half for me each way, there and back, and so I was like, you know what? I'm just start hosting practices. Whoever comes, and we started small. And sometimes you only had 3 people. And then it's, consistently getting bigger and bigger. So.
Yeah.
I lost audio.
I can hear you. But yeah, I would have to say.
Sorry, guys.
That's I gotta do more. I gotta actually get out there.
I lost audio for a moment. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You never lost you.
Sorry about that, gentlemen. I lost audio for a second.
We didn't lose anything. We kept on hearing
you. Fair enough. I lost the audio.
Yeah, you lost audio. We didn't lose anything.
That is funny. Let me just see if I can figure out how to disconnect this one because it's not letting me disconnect it right away.
Anything coming up, Adam, and your new stuff? Like any new shirts that are coming out or any new gear that's coming out?
Yeah, I have about probably 20 different designs just sitting on my computer that I've been tinkering with, and I'm just having, I don't know which ones to release. So I'm just trying to release them a little bit at a time, but yeah, no, we got a whole bunch that I've been working on. It's just, I'm always second guessing, like, nah, not this one, this one. Cause I'm trying to think of, where I want the brand to go, what the identity is that I want, you know. So yeah, we will. Like I was telling Dan, I do fencing, so summertime is really busy, and then wintertime starting to taper down a little bit more with the company. So I'll have a lot more time to focus on grip, launching stuff, getting everything going like that. So
Nice. You were saying you got a place. Is that is that like an actual store? Is it a warehouse? Like, are you going to make it into a store for Grip, like for actually people to buy clothes at, or?
not walk-ins. Everything for grip is going to be online, right? Even this, so at Jersey, we actually tried to do the booth like we do at Michigan State. I'm mixed on it, right? It's a lot. It's a lot of the travel, opposed to flying. You got to drive, and then opposed to actually just getting to go out and mingle. But it is good too, and I know it's a thing that's a necessity, right? To be able to actually talk to the customers, push your brand out there. So it's a catch-22. So no, not a storefront here. Everything will be online orders for our clothing, but it's a way where we can package, warehouse, have stuff where for inventory, opposed to like right now we're doing it out of a closet type room that we have at the other building. 25 minutes north of where we're at now. So just
Nice.
give us a little bit more freedom. We have people that come pull. We do all of our practices here. So the front half of the store would be, for the fencing company. In the back, 2,000 square feet would be for grip.
Nice.
That's awesome. Question for you.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if you can answer this. So if you can't, you tell me shh.
Yeah.
But is there any sponsorships that you can kind of release or reveal that's coming down in 2025 for events that like like, hey guys, stay tuned for these guys because they got something big coming.
Yeah. So you mean on the local level, right?
More so on the state level, yeah.
Yeah, state level. I mean, I know that I know East versus West and whatnot. They're going to definitely have a presence in the states. Pushing forward. Probably different spots around the country, which would be good. Yeah, you got Michigan State's coming up, right? That's something that we committed to last year with Steve. They put on a really great event, top of the top, and everybody wants a golden gorilla. I mean, that's like the one of the most coveted prizes in arm wrestling. And so yeah, we're definitely going to do that. And we did the one of the Arnold qualifiers, and yeah, I mean nothing, no buzz yet. I know I was able to talk to 98% guys over there, and they're going to be doing the Winter Blast, and those are like the biggest. Michigan State and Winter Blast are the two biggest tournaments that I think bring the most buzz and excitement, at least up here in the Northeast. I know that Arizona does some big stuff out there too.
Definitely do. They definitely do. Well, all right. We got all the meat and potatoes out of the way, but we got one more most important question that I like to ask.
Yes.
What's a little fun fact about Adam that the arm wrestling world, maybe even the people, your friends watching this, may not even know about you? Something that's a little bit, little wonky, weird, that you may think that it's something different.
Probably nothing, honestly. I'm too old to be exciting and anything like that. Maybe 15, 20 years ago, I got kids. I'm married. I got two kids. Just being a father, and yeah, no, nothing,
That
nothing
life
that
can be a surprising thing. It's a very
yeah,
surprising thing.
yeah. So I mean, nothing that stands out. I don't have any, I'm any talents or anything like that I can juggle. That's about it.
When
Well,
did you start Grip Armsport? When did you really get into everything with Grip?
So it was this last year in 2024. Like I said, Zach Perkins owned it before, and then we just worked. He was stepping out of the scene a little bit, and the opportunity arose. So I kind of took it over. I liked what I was saying here. I was a fan of Grip, before I took it over. I liked what he did. I like the design, same thing, everything. So I just, was excited to take what he built and try to, push it into the next level.
Nice.
We've had a comment from one of our from our ref actually. He said, "Grip Armsport customer service is awesome."
Glad to hear that. Yeah, that's one thing we try. So hopefully one day this mantra won't be thing, but didn't get into grip to get rich. But like I said, hopefully that changes. But with the fence company, I was already sponsoring certain things, events, right? We're sponsoring Michigan State's, but they're on the other side, right? They're on the west side of the state. Never going to see any of that. So this was just a way to kind of give back to the sport. And I believe in the sport, and I also believe in grip. What I think it could be. So yeah, hopefully one day, like I said, we're able to kind of to break that mark. But so for customer services, you know, our customers are huge for us. We love it. We hope that we have, sometimes we're having a little bit of shipment issues, and we try to ship something out for free, and just and as we start to get into this building, that process I think will be a little bit more efficient of learning what vendors not to go with, what UPS and stuff like that. So yeah, we're definitely excited about the growth and improving. Always trying to get a little bit better.
Yeah, work out those kinks, man.
Yeah.
It's growing pains.
Sure.
Do you happen to have any questions for either Steve or I?
Yeah. So what are your guys' stories? I guess like what is your background? How did you get into sport? How many years have you been polling?
Steve, you can take this one first.
Yeah, sure. Um, so I've been watching arm wrestling for a few years. I've been into the sport probably for about a year, and I would say pulling maybe about like 9 months pulling, sponsoring and promoting for a little bit over a year, and yeah, it's literally Battle of Tri-State. February would be the first year around for the tournaments. Well, this would be the second year around for the tournament, so it's going to be Battle of Tri-State 2. Battle of Tri-State was the first one I threw, which was great. We had great guys there. Steve Walker was there. Wayne Withers was there. Paul Cruz was there. Nick Stone was there. So we had a lot of great guys there, heavyweight guys, and then we had one of the best. Garrett Tupp was there. Chris Michaels there at 154. So there was a lot of good guys that were there. But yeah. So started from there. Tournament wise, I still wasn't pulling. I was still promoting and sponsoring and putting everything together, getting awards, designing the awards, and getting the venues, paying for everything. So that's how it kind of started. And I would say Winter Blast was actually my first tournament that I went to, and I only had about 2 or 3 weeks of training, and it's just started from there. And ever since, I just been putting tournaments and super matches together. And this last year was, I don't even know, it was over 40 super matches or 50 super matches put together for like the full year, within how many tournaments and how many super matches altogether. And there was New York Smoke Super Match Series, there was Buffalo Wild Wings super matches, there was every tournament we had about 5 to 10 super matches. So it was great. It was a great year. And yeah.
So you were a promoter before you got into actually pulling. Is that what your background was before you got into arm wrestling, or?
So I have a store now, so I pretty much promote it all the time with my store, and I pretty much got into it, um, liking the sport, and everything was great. I loved everything about the sport, and I did have somebody else that was a partner of mine when we started something that pretty much walked into my store and wanted some help. I would say,
Yeah.
and so I said, yeah. I said, let's put something together. I was putting as much as I could within the awards and the venue and the food and the jerseys and the shirts and the hoodies and everything else. And it was a successful event. It was over 160 something entries, which was the first event, which was great.
Yeah.
And that's all I did was promote, promote. That's all I did with my store. And that's what I was doing then. And yeah, and that's how it started, just from promoting. And I was sponsoring him too as well. So I was taking care. I bought everything, bought the tables, the awards, the venues, everything that needed to be purchased. I purchased it, So, and yeah, and it took off from there. I split up, we split up, and I've been doing it ever since. Then I put up New York Arm Wars, New York Super Match Series, Test Your Frame, Arnold's Classic Qualifier was here too as well. Buffalo Wild Wings. I mean, 10th annual New York State Championships. I did so many different events with a couple different people too. So it was a exciting and eventful year, I would have to say. But it
Yeah,
was
that's a lot. Yeah, promoters are huge, right? It's going to be clubs are one thing, but then also people to actually promoters to step up and host and throw events is what's going to keep the buzz and keep everything going.
yeah. Yeah, and I could forget the biggest one that we had, which is the Montana one that you sponsored us to help us get there too, which was phenomenal. Shout out to Through the Fingers podcast. Brian Parliament was there as a referee in Montana, too as well, and so was Ray Romanowski. So yeah, it was great, man. It was a great year, and yeah, same thing this year. We're doing the same thing. Metal Tri-State 2 is going to be February 8th. I'm going to post up New York Arm Wars probably tomorrow morning. So, but yeah, besides that, I'll let everybody know when the date is for New York Arm Wars 2. And Battle Tri-State is going to be ridiculous. From what I see so far with people that are going and people that are interested, it's probably going to be more than what we did the first time. So I'm hoping we have over 200 entries this time.
It's a good hope to have, man. It's a good hope to have.
Yeah, I think it'll be. I'm saying the venues was where we had the Arnold's at from last year. So I think it's a beautiful venue. It's always free food, free drinks, custom awards. It's going to be a great time. Live stream, so you're going to be there, live stream like you always are. That's why it always comes out great. So, but yeah, I have a great team. Tracy Walker and Dave Shell's going to be doing the brackets. Dan's going to be helping out with the live stream like always. He does a great job. And yeah, man, referees, Ray's going to be there. Ron Singley's going to be there. Hopefully, Mike Bisman's going to be there as a ref too as well. Aiden LeMay is going to be there as a ref. Kunal Mucher is going to be there down ref too as well. Anthony Sotelo is going to help us too. So it's always a great team. You have to have a good team to make sure everything goes the way it's supposed to. And having that type of team all the time is a fucking blessing, to tell you the truth, because I wouldn't be able to do it without them.
Definitely eager to see all that go down. As for me, how I got into sport, so it's a bit of a crazy ride. Started it actually. My first time on a competition table was in 2019 at the New York State Renaissance Fair. I was all dressed up like a barbarian, and a buddy of mine somehow recognized me. Said, "I remember you being good in middle school and high school at arm wrestling. You used to own the cafeteria tables. They have an actual tournament going on. Why don't you go ahead and enter?" I'm like, "I've never done that before on a real table. I don't know the first thing to do." And so, yeah, let's give it a shot. Ended up getting second place, walking, literally off the couch, and I really was like, "Wow, this is really cool." But then, as life happens, life and life's terms, I, got caught up with work and life and other things, and put on a lot of weight because then COVID happened, the lockdown, and I had a lot of free time. And during that free time, I stumbled upon Game of Arms, and really liked the show. Really was like, whoa, this is what a real competition, spirit is like. This is the camaraderie that it's like. I want a piece of that pie. And did a little bit of digging, got in contact with Mike Aiello and another local arm wrestling crew, or local arm wrestling guy, who brought his tape over to my house, showed me the ropes, and I liked it so much that I cleared out my entire garage and set up like 4 tables in my garage. Had one of my buddies build me one, bought one, and then all of a sudden I bought a couple more, and people would bring over some tables, used arm bet, and it blew up. I had a whole bunch of people come into my house a whole lot of times, and fell in love with that side of things so much. And it, I got involved with watching a lot of YouTube channels, Neil Pickup and Aussie Arm Wrestler, as well as the Mammoth guy. What's his name? I can't remember. Why can't I remember his name? Uncle John. There you go. The Mastodon. There you go. That's his name. the Mastodon now. It's hard to keep up with his name changes. And they were talking about doing this Arm Wars Savage Search, and that's how I created the YouTube channel, because they, anybody who's willing to put themselves out there a little bit. That's one of my very first videos on this channel. If you want to go back and look at it, it's a little cheesy, but it talks a little bit about me and my history. My background professionally, I'm a licensed massage therapist, so I'm all about recovery. And train hard, recover hard is one of my mottos that I've really become very wholesome with in my training and what I do, and what I preach to all my teammates and everybody. Steve can attest to that. I always tell them, you're not taking care of yourself. You're not taking care of yourself. You got to heal. You got to rest. You got to take the time to take care of yourself, allow yourself to heal, to get stronger, because that's where the gains live. Recovery is where the gains live. And then I partnered with Steve the last year because I have an annual barbecue that I do. There's as you said, you fall in love with the sport, and it just kind of grows, and you want to create more of an environment to help others grow in it. And last year was the 4th year of the barbecue, and we brought people. Well, I didn't bring people. People from Puerto Rico flew up to be a part of it. It was a freaking awesome, high energy, high level energy event. People from all over the tri-state area came down, barbecue, great food, great energy. We had blow up bounce house from Troy Bounce Fit, and he and I just hit it off by way of energy. We said we need to do more things together, and he ended up becoming my reluctant co-host. That's what he brought me out to Montana, which I'm forever grateful for. Great experience, all in all, and it's been a hell of a journey and a hell of a wild ride since. I love the sport. I've traveled all over the nation, and even in vacations. I was in Italy. I got to arm wrestle a bunch of Italians, and it was really cool to, be a part of this community that we all come from different walks of life, but we have the same interests, and there's no prejudice in this interest whatsoever. All walks of life can and is capable of participating in it, which I love.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit of my background in a 3.5 minute nutshell.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. It's interesting to see where different people come from and how they got introduced into arm wrestling. So that's cool.
Yeah, definitely.
I love it because there's somebody out there that has my story that they can relate to. It has Steve's story, it has your story, Adam, that they can relate to and sit there and say, hey, that's my life. I got kids. I'm looking for that competitive spirit. I'm looking for that place to put my skill set of marketing and promotions into, but I haven't found my niche. And this sport happens to have, it checks off a lot of those boxes for a lot of different individuals and walks of life. And I'm here to help highlight everybody who's doing something positive for the sport. It's like, that's one of my favorite things. Like, other than actually arm wrestling with people, like this right here is one of my favorite pieces of the sport.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we had the same birthday as Brian Parliament. That's funny, random, but let's see what else we got going on. So we talked a little bit mentioned Steve's upcoming event. So Adam, you're welcome to stay on the show. Chime in with your opinion, your questions, or thoughts about certain scenarios. But there's the other part of it. We like to talk about the upcoming events that we got going on. And I know Steve wanted to mention about, talk a little bit about the super matches as well as the rest of the events. I know he mentioned a couple of the names on there.
Yeah. I can't wait. Finished designing the awards a couple of days ago. They should be coming in a week or so. They're going to be probably, I think they're going to be the nicest awards besides the tables that I just got done. Comparison to the last year awards, they're like nothing. Same thing with the rings. I think they're probably going to be the nicest rings that I've given out so far for this super match for Battle of the Tri-State 2. So venue, like I said, is going to be top notch. It's where we had the Arnolds, so you can't get any better than that, man. Honestly, I that venue was beautiful. Rug, everything, the walls, everything was brand new. The tables, everything was just really nice. But yeah, I already told these guys they're going to be first up. This isn't going to be the order in. I'm just going to let you know kind of what we're going to go through this. But Caleb Johnson versus Cam Dennett. That's going to be. They already went up against right arm. Caleb and Cam are both left-handed pullers, but Caleb's sleeper, man. People don't understand. Caleb's only 16 years old, but he's an absolute beast at 198. He's going to be a problem to deal with, and Cam is no slouch, man. He's really good with his left hand, so we're going to see what happens between them. What do you think, Dan, between Cam and Caleb Johnson?
So I don't know enough about Caleb Johnson. I haven't pulled with him much, but I have pulled with Cam. Cam's got some really strong lanes. I mean, he was somewhat banged up when I did pull him at Knuckles Up, but even though he was banged up, I felt some serious power. So if he's able to be healed up and ready to go, I'm gonna have to air to the guy I do know and give it to Cam.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think it's going to be probably one of the best matches tonight. I like to start off with the big, bang, so everybody jumps up and gets on their feet and gets excited about all these matches. So I think that's going to be one of the best matches tonight. Another match is going to be Evan James Reed versus David Seaton. David Seaton's an absolute monster at his weight class. Evan Reed has been getting better and better every single time. He pulls with Adirondack Arms and Chris Michaels. Chris Michaels is probably one of the best pullers I can see him at through 154 to 176 and beating people guys at 198, world champions at 198. So the guys that he trains with, and the last time I seen him pull, which was at, I think, was it at Test Your Frame? Was that at my tournament, I think? And he did an absolutely phenomenal job. He collected medals all night long. So did David Seaton. So don't get me wrong. They pulled each other, and they were going back and forth. So I think that's going to be a banger, too. I think it's going to be a really good match between the both of them. This is going to prove something to Evan if he's on that level, or if he needs to work on something to be able to beat Dave next time, if he's going to be able to pull him, again. So this is going to be something to show for, Evan if he's on that level. And I think Evan is going to be, something to deal with really soon. So I think it's going to be a good match. I think it's going to be a really good match.
I mean, I know Dave Seaton's name has been around for a little bit, so he's been killing the scene. I think Evan's got his work cut out for him.
Evan does. I don't know if anybody's seen the last matches that they had at Test Your Frame. Evan was not anywhere near. He just had a super match before he went up against Seaton, and him and Seaton were going back and forth. So what I wanted to see is what it would be like if Evan didn't have a super match before ahead of time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Even though, we'll see what happens. Like I said, everybody knows Steve Seaton. He's really good. So we'll see what happens between the both of them. Another match is going to be Wade Roberts versus Jason Ciardi.
That's a hell of a match right there.
That's going to be a qualifier to go with us to either going to be to Michigan, to Florida, to Las Vegas, to our next place that we're going to be traveling to. They're going to qualify. So whoever wins that match will be coming to us. We'll be coming with the City Slickers to the next spots, wherever we're going to be going. Like I said, it could be California, it could be wherever. But Wade Roberts, he's got his hands full, but Jason, the last couple of matches that he had wouldn't really turn out the way he wanted to. I know Jason's got a lot more left in his tank than he's been showing lately. And going up against Wade Roberts, Wade is a hell of a puller, man. He can catch you and hold you all day long, and and he comes back and he knows how to figure you out. So I see that's going to be one of the best matches, I think, of the night too, as well. I don't know if it's going to go inside. I know. Jason likes the top roll, but he can play inside. He's got a good hand. So, but same thing with Wade Roberts too, and Wade actually wants us to take this away and wants us to go to California or to Florida. So he wants us to take away from Jason. He doesn't want Jason to win at all. So we'll see what happens. Next match is going to be James Mason versus Chris Vert. A lot of people don't know James Mason, and he's a hell of a puller, man. He will beat a lot of bigger guys than him. Even though he crawls around 230 or so, the guys that are 240, 250, even 260, he goes up against even bigger, and he's I've seen him beat. You just now, they just had the Vermont States, went up against Big Boy, was almost 280 or so, and beat him. And he's been pulling for over 10 years. So it's just guys like that, don't underestimate James Mason, but Chris Vert too as well, Dan, and he's an absolutely, phenomenal puller when it comes to puller. What do you think of the match between James Mason and Chris Vert?
I don't know nothing about Jace Mason to comment. I think having fresh blood on the table is definitely going to be a good thing for the sport.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a good match. People, like I said, even Dave Shewich right now in the chat, he's saying that he doesn't know the other guy. So Chris Vert, a couple people know Chris Vert a little bit more because James Mason is from Vermont, or from closer from that area. So he doesn't really. A lot of people don't know him as much, but it's gonna be a great match, and I don't think people really understand how strong James Mason is and how fast he is and how hard he hits when he has to, when he's on the table. So I think it's going to be a really good match between the both of them. But,
hey guys, sorry to interrupt. Hey, thanks so much for having me on. I do gotta go. I got a jet. But hey, looking forward to talking both of you, and looking forward to see what you guys do in the next year.
Absolutely.
So
Appreciate having you on, man.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate having you on. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Bye.
See you, bud. All right. Next match is Matt Flipton versus Aiden LeMay. That's going to be another
good match.
That's going to be another match, left-hand match. They're going to be fighting back and forth. And people think that Matt Flip is going to go through Aiden. I don't think people understand how good Aiden is with his left hand. So I think it's going to be a bigger fight and a bigger match than what people think. And this is going to be another fight to be on the City Slickers team. So whoever wins will be coming with us to either Michigan, California, Las Vegas, wherever we're going to be traveling to, will be on that team. So that's going to be one hell of a match. What do you think, Dan, is going to be on there?
I think Flip is a monster left-handed. Right-handed, he's also pretty damn good, but left-handed is monstrous. I've watched him destroy people fairly quickly and fairly fast. So it's just gonna be a matter of who catches the go first. Because if Aiden catches his press into Flip and he gets what he needs, Flip might be in trouble. But that's a big if. Because I think Flip's got a lot of experience. He's tricky at the center of the table. Flip has been doing this for some time. I think he's got like 10 years in his belt. Aiden's, been pulling for about as long as me, maybe a little bit longer. So it's definitely going to be the experienced guy versus the explosive, rising star. And, I know Aiden's hungry. So that's going to be another X factor. That's going to be, a big time to play out in this entire match. I think that's going to probably be one of the matches of the night, if not match of the night.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really good. Just specifically that, they're both right now pulling ridiculously strong with their left arms, and Flip is a left-handed puller. Aiden's trying to come back with his right, and he's also gaining a little bit more weight because he was losing to go down to 176. So he is actually bulking back up to 187 or so, just so he can go up against Flip when he's a little bit bulkier. And So yeah, I think it's going to be one of the best matches of the night. I see it's going to be. I think it's going to be a fight going back and forth. I don't see this going to be easy for either one of them. So yeah, it's good.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a fight back and forth. Another match I have here is going to be our ref for the City Slickers and a good friend of mine and a good ref all the time and always helping out in every single one of my tournaments. So I thank you so much. It's going to be Ray Romanowski versus Derek Perusa. Um, now, this match I think is going to be really tough for either one of them. I know Ray's going to go inside, so is Derek, but Derek's probably going to go in for a press, and I think Ray's going to go inside for a hook. So it's just going to be a back and forth match. I don't see them. It's not going to be easy for either one of them. And I know Ray's going to have to fight through Derek to see if he can, because Derek's going to go straight for that press. And that press, if once he goes inside, it's going to be very hard to stop Derek. I haven't seen a lot of people that are going to be able to stop Derek when he goes inside with that press. He's very fast and he's really efficient. The thing is he going to be able to get in that position? Is Derek going to be able to be in that mindset the way he needs to be that night? I know Ray turns into that monster. I know Ray turns into that stronger need to be at that moment when he needs to be. So, what do you think?
I think Ray's actually gonna 3-0.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think Ray's got. I pulled him recently this year, and Ray's just got too much power. Right-handed, his right hand, it's his power, his strength. If it goes inside, it's his. If it goes outside, it's his. Goes in a strap, it's his. I think that's he might be able to have one round not go his way, but that's only because he's experimenting and playing. I think that otherwise it's raised.
You pulled Derek, so you know what? I know Derek has gotten stronger from when you pulled him, but what do you think?
I right hand. If it's the other arm, it's a different story. I think, but right-handed, it's raised. It's raised day.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll see what happens. I think it's going to be a good match. I'm not sure if Ray's going to be as fast as Derek, so I know that's going to be a really iffy thing about that. You know what I mean? To see if, and I know Derek too. Also, when he goes inside like that and he presses, it's very hard to get him out of that spot. He's so. But at the same time, I'm not saying anything against Ray. Ray's a phenomenal puller, and he's a lot stronger than what people think. Especially,
and Ray's also got experience under his belt. Ray's been pulling about as long as me as well.
yeah.
And so he's got raw power and experience, and he's only gotten even more experience as time has gone. Because I also recently pulled with him in an after pull at Knuckles Up, and I couldn't do anything. I couldn't budge him. When I once thought I had a little something, I flash pinned him once earlier this year, but then that was it. I think that his strength now is just to the level like he's got the he may be short and stocky, but he's got a power of a 220 guy, easily.
Yeah, he's strong. Our next match: Andrew Giacchio versus Kevin Malcolm, big boys.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, this is going to be a really good match. These guys have been going at each other for a long time. They're good friends, but they really want to see who's going to be the bigger guy. Who's going to be the better guy on the table that day. Reason being is because they always pull at every tournament, every single one of my tournaments. So they're pulling each other, but they never pull each other fresh. It's always in a tournament setting. It's never fresh. So they've been wanting to pull each other for a while. So this is the time to see who's the better man. I really don't know. I really don't know how this is going to turn out.
I know all I can speak about. Andrew's actually training with us a little bit, at the new gym, and he's dialed in. I have not seen that man more dialed in than ever before. He's coming in ready. He's coming prepared. I'm working with him, on a lot of different things. That it just so happens that the style that he's fighting against is a style that I'm learning to pull in, and so he's going to be. I'm going to throw everything with the kitchen sink at him. I mean, he's a bigger, stronger dude than me. So I'm going to need to use the band to help me out to kind of replicate the kind of power he's going to be experiencing at the table. But I think he's going to be in tip-top form, tip-top shape. So with that focus, I can't speak to Kevin's training camp. I've seen Kevin at tournaments. He's intensity incarnate. So
Yeah.
it's definitely going to be an interesting preparation versus someone who's got that much intensity.
Definitely 100%. Next match is going to be Brian Malik versus Conrad.
Ooh, that's another exciting one.
It's
Looking forward to that.
Match. People are calling Brian Malik because there are a lot of people know Brian Malik. They don't know Conrad.
No, they don't.
Conrad is going to be known if you don't know him yet. He's an absolute beast, man. At 176, people don't realize how strong that kid is on the inside, and he's able to hold you all day on his bicep to where he feels that sweet spot to bring you right back. And yeah, man. So it's just we're gonna see.
This is good. Conrad's chance to shine. I think and he will. I think he will shine. I'll tell you something about Brian Malik. And Brian, I know you're probably watching this, but there's a few times I've told him, I've coached him in previous matches, watch out for this specific move. And he's like, I'm strong there. I can handle it. And he ends up losing. Brian, watch out for this kid because he's strong in a lot of different lanes. He's got a strong hand. His hand rivals yours, if not more. And
bicep is ridiculous. So his
bicep is ridiculous. Exactly. He's built like a younger version of you, So when I pull him, it's like pulling you. Just I would say half your age. Yeah. So he might have more, piss and vinegar than you could ever, think to have. So I'm looking forward to seeing this regardless of the outcome. I think it's going to be a definite banger of a match.
Yeah, definitely 110%. And last but not least, the best match of the night, which is going to be the main event, is going to be Miguel Fernandez versus Bill Sinks. This is probably one of the best matches I'm saying that people have been wanting to see for a long time. Especially, the last one that we were at the Contender Series in New Jersey. It was such a good fight between them, back and forth. And it's just, I can't wait because it's just, Miguel is so intense. And so, I want to say like he hits as hard as, Jesus, man, some of the guys I feel bad for because he just lays them out, and so.
He's a table bully. I call him the table bully because he'll sit there and act all nice and friendly, and the guy's as diplomatic as they come. But then when he comes to the table, it's like he just takes off that Scooby-Doo mask, and he's gonna rip your freaking arm right off for clean up your body.
Miguel's on a different level, but Bill, man, he's the marathon guy, man. He can pull for days. So we'll see who they can pull because they're both absolute monsters, man. Bill's going to be able to catch him. Miguel's going to hit, and they're just going to go back and forth in the middle of the table. I mean, when they were going back and forth, they went from hook to top roll to side pressure to I mean, it was like every single thing going back and forth. I think it's going to be a right-hand match, Dave.
Brian Malik just texted me. I'm putting you out there, man. He said I crushed that. The main Bill Sinks is the main event. But you know what? You're gonna have. I mean, you got your hands full, man. With Miguel and Bill Sinks, though, I do gotta say, Bill, keep your elbow down, man. Don't foul. Please don't foul out. That's the last thing we want to see.
Oh,
you're watching.
I forget too. How could I forget? Sam Mitchell versus David Lee.
Oh, Zach Lee.
Sorry, I had David here in front of me. But yeah, Zach Lee versus Sam Mitchell. One of the best matches of the night. They're going for ranked spot. So they are literally same thing. They're fighting for their spots to travel with us with the City Slickers, going to either California or Vegas or wherever the hell we're going, Virginia, Michigan. So yeah, that's going to be one hell of a match. We'll see what happens between them. I know they're probably going to go inside, and I know Zach. If he's phenomenal in the strap. Um, Sam, we'll see if he listens or if he falls into the same trap that he fell into Montana. If
Yep.
he goes in first press, I think he's able to beat anybody almost. If he falls into a trap and he wants to go in a hook with them or end up in the straps with them, then that's going to be his fault. So I see. But look, Zach is no slash man. He's an absolute monster. I just seen him pull with Auden at the Contender Series, and he looked as strong as an ox. So we'll see what happens, man. I see that
I
could be one of the best matches on the night, to tell you the truth.
I think it's going to be a 3-2 match, but I do think it's going to go Zach's way. And here's why I think that. I think while Sam has stamina up the wazoo, the only person who has more stamina, I think, than I've experienced from Sam would be Zach in that weight class. And because I pulled them both. And the way Zach literally makes you think you have everything in the setup, and then all of a sudden you have nothing and you're being pinned. Whereas Sam, you're going to get pinned because of his setup, the way his angle, his strength, his power. Like you kind of already know with Zach, he gives a lot. Like talk about experience, over a young gun. I mean, Sam is I think in it for about 5-6 years.
Mm-hmm.
Where Zach, I want to say, is 10 plus years.
Yeah.
And, they call him Strap Master Zach Lee for a reason. That man knows how to manipulate the strap. I've seen him take down guys that he had no business taking down. Like people would say that I'm like that around my neighborhood, but no, the hat's off to Zach because I've watched him take on guys that I've struggled to even do anything in just the setup alone. And he just sits there, lets them have whatever they think that they have, and then all of a sudden flashes them.
Yeah. I don't know how this is going to turn out. I just know, what do you write? Hit all the way in the pin if the Sam puts in the brakes and goes, but not far long. 3-2 at the best for Sam. Yeah. Well, I see this as the same thing. I see it a very close match. Like Dave was saying, 3-2 Sam. We'll see what happens. Like I said, this being a war going back and forth between both of them. So
yeah,
Sam,
I agree with that.
If Sam does what he needs to do, which he should, I think he knows what cards he needs to play. But Zach also has been in this game for years. So if he takes him out of his lane, and we'll see what happens from then. So hopefully, like I said, I think it's going to be one of the best matches of the night.
I just hope Zach's not injured in any way or form.
No, I don't think Zach's going to be injured.
Well, that's the thing is I know Zach sometimes he has a tendency of overtraining himself every now and then. That is the only caveat with Zach that I would say. Other than that, I think it's going to be one of the matches of the night. Another one that's just a contender for that.
It's a banger. Every single match is a fucking banger, dude. Every match is a banger.
I'm looking forward to being there. I will be there bright and early to set up the new camera, and we'll have actually, two cameras available, nice quality ones. We're not going to be using. I won't be having a cell phone on it this year. It will be two separate cameras, my old camera and the new one, which is going to be better quality for everything, which I'm looking forward to. Looking forward to competing and seeing, what I can do in the 176 class, right and left, because this year I'm going to be a little less active. I got a really cool thing coming for me. I'm going to be best man at my best friend's wedding. So I've got a bachelor party to plan in early April, and then the wedding's in early May. So the first half of the year, I'm not going to be the most active. Doesn't mean I'm not going to be active in training. I got a whole lot of new equipment, a whole lot of new tools, a whole lot of new toys to play with to get me stronger than ever before. And I think that space in between tournaments is just going to give me time to get that much stronger. So, 176 is don't sleep on it. Don't sleep on it. Because mithril arm wrestling equipment is going to level up all the entire pit crew out of the cut. We're at Clean Cut Fitness in Bayshore, New York. Not only are we a training facility, but we will be a facility that's going to be having events. We will be a facility that's going to have sponsorship opportunities, but the next event that it's going to be arm wrestling specific is going to be June 7th. It is our 5th annual summer kickoff barbecue. We're going to have a 6-foot grill. We're going to have, so food will be included in the entry fee. There will be no additional charges for food. If you are a competing athlete, you will be getting pretty much a lot of food available to you to refuel after your weigh-ins. We'll get started on grilling as early as possible.
What is it?
It's going to be June 7th.
Nice.
So we'll have burgers, hot dogs, sausages, the usual barbecue foods. You're going to be at a facility that is going to have a room where you can warm up separately from where the event is. It's going to be outside of where the gym is going to be. We'll have multiple tables available for warm-ups. So that's one of the things that we all see at some events that they don't have, but you will have that there. And we will have a portion of the after pole will be there. And then if we need to, we'll relocate the after pole to my house, which is only 15 minutes away from the venue. It's the place to be. I will be releasing a podcast specifically on going over the rules and regulations of this format, because it is a no elimination tournament. So you're going to get to pull everyone who enters your class. So show up. It's going to be a long day of arm wrestling. I will say that. We're going to be everyone's arm wrestling everyone. But we will have more than 2 tables running. I think I'm going to have about 3 tables, possibly 4 tables running simultaneously. So it's definitely going to be a high energy day with a lot of arm wrestling action occurring, and then a big after pull, as we always love to have here on Long Island. We enjoy, arm wrestling a little too much, some might say. Let's see. So we will have a couple of super matches too. I don't know exactly how many as of yet, maybe 3 or 4, only because of the amount of arm wrestling that's going to be happening that day. We may not even have that. Yeah, I'm going to Shubich has got jokes. Dan's going to come in looking like Edward Tiete towards the end of the year. You better believe it, man. I'm freaking feeling already. I have shoulders. Do you see these things?
Let me know when you're ready for a super match, Dave.
You see these things? I got freaking shoulders.
I've been wanting to get Dave in a super match. He knows that. Already asked him a couple of times.
So, did you see what Dave said about you?
I know. The funny part is I would actually ask him and go through him and get everything from him, and because he's the one helped me out to lose to get down to 154 in nationals. I mean, it was like 154. Like, I mean, I had weighed nothing. Like, I was like, right now, I'm probably like almost 180 or about 180 right now.
Dude, I already told my entire team, I am not doing anything by way of steroids or TRT or anything like that until I'm 50 years old. So everyone's got 12 years before they can hit the panic button on their arm wrestling pads, because I am not going to be doing anything of that nature until I hit 50, and even by then I may not still. But that's my commitment to my body, to the temple that is me. I won't be doing anything. And David Schubert said, end of the year, pencil me in, boss, to you. August to December, I'm open.
We'll probably do something then. I got to see next after Battle of Tri-State 2, we're doing New York Arm Wars 2, which should be, and not should be, but it's going to be in April.
All right. Well, brother, it has been a fun time. Is there anything else you want to cover?
No, I'm all good. Just like I said before, February 8th, everyone, Battle of the Tri-State 2, free food, free drinks, live stream, raffles, giveaways, custom awards, beautiful venue. Come in, guys, and enjoy yourselves. Watch a great show. To all the guys that are competing, we will be starting at 12 o'clock for the super matches. So super matches will be starting at 12. And I want to make sure everybody's weighed in. Also, tournament will be starting as soon as the super matches are over. We will be running 3 tables this time. Reason being is because I want to make sure that masters, women's, and everybody they're pulling at the same times that we have the pro table and the same time as the amateurs table is going. So I want to make sure that everything is going at the same time. We get everything done efficiently, but more important, professionally, and everybody gets full and loves it and has a great time, which is the most important.
There you go.
Yep.
Sounds good to me, man. And then just want to also remind people that in the interim, if you're looking for a place to train that has state-of-the-art arm wrestling specific equipment now, Clean Cut Fitness out of Pro Game Athletics in Bayshore, New York. You can contact me or Dan Centrella for more information. We train there every Thursday night at 7 and every Sunday evening at 6. We will be rolling out a membership program that will kickstart in May. So if you want to check out the facility now's the time to do it, because right now it's open to the public, for just exploration, seeing what we got, train with us. If there's anything you want to be a part of sponsoring our venue by way of events, let us know, as well as we're considering being a host site for other tournaments. So if you're looking for a venue that's large, this is a 15,000 square feet venue. A lot of space, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of space available and not terribly far from the train stations. We want to see you guys come out and take advantage of this. This is how we're going to do our part in growing the sport of arm wrestling. So come check us out. Be a part of this. Be a part of what we got going on. And I look forward to seeing everybody else. See you guys on Thursday at practice.